Great. So, yeah, so Karen, so what prompted you guys to sign up for a demo?
We had gotten an email from the president of our company that she had received showing your software. She forwarded it, and I did a demo, like the online demo,
Okay.
and it looked great. It looked like it encompassed like several softwares that we use today.
Yeah.
We use quite a bit of software in our preschools and
Mhm.
at our corporate office, and we thought that maybe Hubbli could help us combine multiple softwares into one.
That's the name of our game.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, great. We're very interested in learning more. At the
Okay.
highest level, it looks great, but I'm not sure if it really covers what we're looking for.
Sure.
So we thought if we could see a little bit more detail. Just to
Okay.
give you a little bit of background on our company, it's Apple
Mhm.
Montessori Schools. It is a Montessori school in northern New Jersey, and we have
Mhm.
15 different locations.
Okay, great.
Um, they all run the same curriculum, except there's a little bit of variance between schools. Some of them have an infant and toddler program. Some
Mhm.
start at the preschool age, and then, of course, we have our one school that goes all the way through elementary, sixth grade.
Okay.
Um,
And they're all separate
we
physical locations?
They're all separate physical locations, and we run a school program curriculum September through June, and then in the months of July and August we have summer programs that we run at these locations. So we are a
Okay.
12-month operation
Cool.
um, at all 15 locations.
Great. Yeah, we've got a number of customers that do that too all year round.
Okay.
Um, cool. And so just so I'm clear, you've watched the demo online, like that. It's like I bet a 20-minute video. Is that the one that you've seen?
Yeah, I don't even think it was 20 minutes.
Mm.
If it was, that's impressive because it didn't feel like 20 minutes. Like I was, very interested in everything it was showing me on the demo. At the end of it, it said, like for further to contact you, and then I know you had been emailing me. I was just a little bit busy, and then finally we were like, let's set this up. So,
Yeah.
I saw it at the highest level,
Okay.
whatever online
Right.
video that was.
Okay, great. So, why don't I just go into my regular presentation, and then you can just tell me like, I got this, I know this, and then we can go more specific too. I don't, I
Okay,
don't want to obviously be redundant, but I also want to make sure we do cover the ground. Just bear with me one quick
sounds good.
second here. Um, One other question I have for you is, so are you calling in regards to your one location, or are you inquiring for the entire company?
All of them, yeah. All of them.
Okay.
We're at the corporate office, so like
Okay.
what we would do is, you know, if this is something we were interested in and,
Mhm.
wanted to do, we would roll it out to all 15 locations. Because again,
Yeah.
we're looking at Hubbli as a way of possibly replacing some software that we use today.
Sure.
So, we would put it everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Um, so I'll just get my presentation started here. Bear with me a sec. All right. So you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so yeah. So we're here to like just to skip through this stuff kind of quickly. It's an all-in-one communication system, and the reason why is because kind of like you mentioned, see schools using various different software tools, kind of no standardization usually, and we see on average about 20 per school when you kind of count all the ones that different teachers are using. And I'm not sure how you guys are currently standardizing things, but it sounds like you run things centrally, so you probably have a pretty good sort of standard communication. Um, and but it certainly is still a challenge for everyone in the market. So we're gonna basically reduce everything into one centralized place, reduce the different the time that goes into managing those different tools individually, and obviously like, do you mind me asking, at this point, are you guys still using a lot of paper for administrative stuff like parent forms or documentations, or are you fully digital at
No,
this
we
point?
try not. We try not to, but unfortunately, when we try to go as paperless as possible, that's what then turned us into using multiple softwares or websites, to manage things.
It's not easy. It's not easy to do it on your own, and that's why we exist, to help you go digital with everything, with one location, because you do kind of have to have some real technical expertise to get things to work efficiently. So I'm just going to skip through some of like the business case why we exist. I think you understand it.
Right.
The first and foremost, the way we work is everything that we deliver is delivered through. So all of our features are all centralized, and it's all housed inside of a website. About half of our customers, actually more than half of our customers, use their Hubbli site not just as this location where they log in and they manage all this stuff. It's also a place where the parents go and log in. It's kind of like a parent portal on steroids. The admin have like an admin management dashboard, but then there's also an interface for the parents and the teachers. But it's also, that's all behind the password, but it's also used as a website. A lot of our customers use our sites either as to replace their existing website. You guys have a great website, so I don't think you should be replacing. No, honestly, I was looking at your website. I was like, wow, somebody finally has a really good website. Like that's a good marketing website. I was really impressed. So you guys obviously have either someone internally or you've hired a good, agency or something. But kudos to you guys. And so I certainly wouldn't suggest replacing it. But Hubbli can be a great extension of your website because it has a lot of tools that will, we're going to get into it, but will automate basically every step of the way after the parent hits your website and then wants to inquire and get into your enrollment process. Hubbli, you would want to move them into Hubbli at that point. Hubbli will manage all that entire process.
Right, and one of the areas from our website that we would love to move to a new platform would be our parent portal. Even though if you were on our website, you see that we have a parent portal. We're looking to upgrade the parent portal.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Hubbli is. First and foremost, that's where Hubbli started, actually, was on that side. But at the same time, your Hubbli site will for sure will beat your existing site on search engine rankings, like we just killed in that regard. So it wouldn't make sense not to use Hubbli as another source of traffic to drive people into your enrollment process. And so I'll get into all those specifics, but we get your site found at the top of the important keywords and other ones that you're not going to be targeting. We generally will, oftentimes will beat sites like, the directories and stuff like that as well, because of our technology. So you get the value of not, it's very hard for one individual site, unless you're investing into it heavily, to be optimized and, all that stuff. With Hubbli, it all comes out of the gate. We make sure all of that stuff is right there from day one. So when parents do log in, so everything's kind of built around a private social network. It's like your own little Facebook, which is it's like a groups-based social network. And so generally speaking, when every program that you have, like all the different age levels and programs, your rooms or whatnot, however you break them up, will have a separate group. And when you enroll children into the program, the parents are automatically added to the right group. And so these groups, so every room or program will have a group. Also, you can create groups for anything: a staff group, a board group, a parent committee, whatever you want. It's but everything snaps into place automatically. And then when you want to, so the groups, like the first and foremost, it's just great for real-time, bite-size, 100% relevant information going out to the parents. So just on a high level, Hubbli's here to make it really easy for you to send only or show only 100% relevant information to every parent. We know that parent engagement, the right kind of parent engagement, happens when you stop sending parents or showing parents things that don't matter to them, so to speak. So making parents, read through long lists of things, trying to find something that that is related to their child is like one of the surest ways to train them to ignore your communication. So we make it really easy to you can hit parents 10 times a day if it's bite sized and 100% relevant. But
Right.
if you hit them once a week with a long newsletter that's got everything going on, they ignore everything. So
Yeah,
'cause
we're kind of facing that right now.
yeah, so we are that is Hubbly is designed to like inherently to solve that problem, and we build everything from that standpoint. So when parents, okay, so I'll continue on. You'll see how that kind of blends into all of our features. But let's say a teacher wants to post something, a simple reminder for all the parents in her room, hey, tomorrow's pizza day, or hey, everyone, there's a fever today in the class, or we found lice today, just letting like these are the things that you see all the time, that you kind of just need to let parents know about. So what'll happen is that message will go out, and then everything is tracked, so you can actually see every message that comes out of Hubbly. You can see who opened it, who clicked on it, who read it. Are you guys still there? It just went really quiet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
great.
I
So
think there's a lot of background noise. I had you muted, and I'll just
wanted to make
unmute
sure.
you if we need to say. We're here,
Great.
though.
Okay, great. So I want to ask you guys, how do you currently manage, sending out information to specific groups of parents?
All right. Well, that's one of the issues that we have is we get in contact with our parents through various different methods. We obviously use Microsoft Outlook, and some locations are still creating distribution lists and emailing the parents.
Yeah.
We have a billing system that we use, ProCare, for checking in and out of school, and also for the billing process. And then we also use Tadpoles as a parent communication tool. The parents get a daily report via Tadpoles.
Okay.
But because of that, they're getting emails from all over the place.
Bing, bing, bing,
When Tadpoles comes as a daily report from Tadpoles. ProCare emails come through the back end of Outlook, so they look just like an Outlook email. And we tend to send a lot of information. So, like you had said, parents sometimes, because we send so much, they don't open anything.
And we send it from two different locations, so they have made their own assumptions of what is the important information from which location. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, some believe everything from Tadpoles and they read it, and some believe everything from the ProCare and think that's the important ones to read. So it's gone both ways.
Yeah, and our it can be a lot of work, and some schools do the work. But do you try to make sure that you're only sending relevant information, or do you also send kind of like the everything to everybody type of emails as well?
We do a bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
we tried to get everyone doing a weekly, like what we call like a weekly backpack. So put everything relevant for next week into one email that goes out on Fridays, and try not to email the parents, other than their daily report from Tadpoles.
Okay.
But, stuff comes up, so.
Right.
And at the same time, I will say some of the parent feedback that we have gotten is that we do email too much rather than not enough. Do you know what I mean? So even if it's in small bits, and we have tried doing small bits throughout a week, they're like, I'm getting emails I don't have time to sit here and read emails every day from you. Like, just give me the whole thing. So that's why we've moved on to that kind of a newsletter type thing at the end of the week that gets you ready for the next.
Sure. Yeah, and so it's really important to let parents manage notifications the way they want. Like, one of the features here in Hubbly is that you can allow, so parents can choose if they get every message from the group as it comes out in real time, or if it's a daily digest or a weekly digest, and that's that is important to give them that option. You can also send messages via text as well, so it can go out as an email and a text message. That's something that at the same time, we also give you the ability to override those settings when something is urgent, so that you can have that sort of control when you need to, which is something that obviously every now and then is really important. It's like there's a flood or weather or whatever it is. So Currently, when you're sending out messages, are you able to track the engagement of those messages? Do you know who is or who isn't reading everything?
Yes, on some of them, yes, we can.
Okay, okay, good, yeah. Okay, good.
Depending on which program we use, yes.
I see. Okay, right. Okay, great. And okay, so now what happens? The way the notifications work in Hubbli, from the parents' perspective, is we actually really believe it's important that parents shouldn't have to log into anything to get the information. Um, and so there's no need to log into Hubbli for the parents. If they do, they only see what matters to them. We filter everything out that's not relevant to them. But generally speaking, we don't think that like parents want to have to log into another tool. That's what we believe. Now, we're getting this from analyzing over 3 million parent messages at this point that our system's been sending out, and so what we see is that this is really ideal. And so the parents get this. So what happens is, let's say a teacher posts something in the group, it'll come out as an email from that teacher or staff member. So it comes directly from that person. It's not like, no reply or anything like that. It's Pat, so the teacher's name here would be Pat Kennefic. So this is the same message that was posted in the group, comes out as an email, and it can come out as a text message as well. Now, another really important thing is we also believe that parents should not have to log in to reply or engage. So we've built our system in a way that I'll show you the next diagram. Might be a little confusing initially, but basically what this diagram is trying to show is that if a teacher goes to that group or a newsletter or anything that gets sent, it can also send a private message. So you can go to someone's profile. It's just like Facebook if you're familiar. You can send a message out to a group or to one person or to the whole school. Now, when a parent receives that message to their email, they don't have to log in, and they can just reply directly back to that email. But what's happening as well is that that's going to go through Hubbli back to that original teacher or whoever sent it originally, and they can just keep on replying back and forth in their email. Now, you see this in other systems like Facebook and LinkedIn, and it really is the best practice because because really, when you're sending out an email notification, what people do is they reply, even if it says do not reply, which is a very standard thing. People still hit reply, right? So you don't want those messages to be missed, and that is what the parents are expecting the system to do. So you have to match their expectations. If you want parent engagement, you got to meet parents where they are. So so Hubbli handles that, and nothing gets lost. It all gets sent back to the right person. But what's really important also is that it's being duplicated inside Hubbli as a private message conversation between those two users, which you as the admin have full transparency into. So you can go into any of the users' profiles and you can see every conversation. They didn't even have to log in to send it back and forth. They're just replying back and forth by email, but it's all being documented inside Hubbli, organized by under the user of those that are having that conversation. And so we built it first and foremost for the right user experience to improve parent engagement. But the ancillary benefit is that the school has full documentation and records of all conversation, which here and there can come in handy when there's issues or whatnot. Or sometimes you just want to verify if somebody really did not read it or did read, things like that. So that can be really handy. And that's how our system works. So the next feature we have, that this is very much like all the other features. It's baked. Everything you can manage from the school level as the admin, right? So there's a school. We have one central calendar system. You can go and you can create calendar events for the whole school or for certain groups. You can assign an event to one or many groups. And so what happens is when you assign an event to a group, it shows up in that group's calendar as well, specifically there. And the parent, if they...
Can I stop you for one moment? Because you said something that I have a question on.
Yeah.
You said you can assign an event to multiple groups. Can you do it all in one task? Where I can say this event and it's for this person, this person, this person, this person, and it goes on all the calendars in one click?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. So hold on. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. When you say this person, so it's assigned
this group
to
or this
Yes, exactly. So when you have a list of groups when you're creating the event, and you can just check off the groups that it's for. If you don't check off a group, it automatically is just a school-wide event. Um, and then, so what happens is when again, we don't think parents should have to log in, so they can actually synchronize they can subscribe to either the school-wide calendar, which filters things that they don't need to see. So if they log in and go look at the main school calendar, they're only going to see events that matter to them, that they're connected to. And if they go into a particular group, of course they'll see that group's calendars. They can only access the groups you've connected them to, and they don't even have to log in to get that. They can just subscribe to the calendar. It just shows up on whatever device they're using, whether their iPhone, their Android, or their
Wow.
Outlook, or their Google Calendar, whatever. It'll just automatically show up. So once more, very important, our main goal is to make it super easy for you to meet parents where they are on a communication level. And so there's many different tools out there. You want to, but when you build software today, you have to make it so that it works for everybody. So we're using those technologies that it just, whatever device they use, it shows up
Okay.
automatically. And then next, so we have a
Can I ask one
newsletter
more
tool.
question about one
Yes,
more
please.
question about the calendar before you move on
Yeah,
to the newsletter?
yeah,
Can you add anything to? Oh, you there?
yeah.
Yes.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
okay,
Can you hear
sorry.
me? Yeah.
Can you
Yes.
add things to the calendar like clip art and other things, or is it just a basic like Google Calendar?
No, you can actually create like an Eventbrite page. You can be very dead simple, like it can be
Right.
just, the date and the title, or you can make a beautiful page with images and,
And then all that stuff. Okay,
RSVP,
perfect.
all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So, and you can even sell tickets on the page on the event. It's got, like, again, full basic to basically as basic as you get. And then this
Okay.
newsletter tool is, the way the architecture works very similar. You can from the admin side, you can send a newsletter to the whole school. Um, and this is different than the group post, because here it's like, it's when you want to send more, like a nice beautiful, newsletter with more rich media and a design. So we give you a bunch of templates to start from, and you can start designing a newsletter and make it your own. And then you can clone a previous one, so you don't have to start from scratch every time. So once you've got your branding and all that stuff, you can just keep on copying it. And then you can schedule these newsletters to go out later. And of course, you're tracking all the engagement. And then also, very much like the events, you can send a newsletter to the whole school or to specific groups. Also, the teacher is, generally speaking, the teacher is like the admin of their group. So they can go in and they can send a newsletter. If you want to delegate that to the teachers, they can go into their group. Same thing with events. They can go and they can create an event just for their group that you've given them the admin to, and the newsletter as well. So you can either manage things centrally, or you can manage them, or you can delegate out to the teachers. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then so that's that's our messaging. And then here is where we really reduce amazing amounts of paper and time and hassle and workload, because paper is really time consuming, which you guys are obviously making strides already to go digital. We're going to make this much easier for you. So our digital
Right, because
forms
like
tool.
what you're showing, like a field trip, we're still collecting paper, and
Yeah.
so we have that signature.
Right, and if it's about 3 hours from our research, interviewing like thousands of people that work at schools. It's about 3 hours per field trip of paper management. Like, you gotta
Oh,
go, you gotta
yeah.
make the form, you gotta print it off, you gotta hand it out to all the kids, you gotta collect it from all the kids. The bus is about to leave, somebody doesn't have the form, they're scurrying
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to get right. So like here, if you can imagine, like, you make the form on Hubbli. It's like this form would take about 20 seconds to make, and sends out to the parents. They can fill it out on any device. It can handle digital signatures. It can take payments, and when they submit it, the job is done, and you can be notified. Our forms have also all like workflow automation steps that you can build into them. So when a form's submitted, I'll show you a little bit further. some different ways of using it. But when a form is submitted, you can trigger a notification to somebody. It can create a task for somebody, or it can just be simply like it's submitted and you just go look at the list. Once it's submitted, you don't have to file the paper. You can it's there, it's automatic. You can query the entries, you can print them off, you can print, you can export them, you can send them to.
Can you run reports on them and different things like that? It will run a report of who sent it in, and you know what I mean, without us having to open them all.
Yeah, exactly. So you can like take a look, right there. So there's a few different places where you can see all the entries, and you can just sort through them. Just like it kind of puts them into like a sort of like a spreadsheet format, like what we're seeing here on the screen. So this is one of the view. There's another view as well that allows you to get a little more granular, but you can get really specific. You can filter, and break things down as as narrowly as you want, but generally speaking, what you see initially is usually enough information. And then, so the point is that, like, let's take an enrollment process, or like that's where it's really time consuming, right? Like a parent packet or something like that. All those forms, I mean, it's months of work when all the paper comes in. Just getting the data from paper into something else can take months, depending on how many kids you have, how much staff you have. All that stuff can be done in an hour. It's because once it's submitted, it's organized. And what's also great about digital forms is that people, like you don't have to worry about handwriting that you can't read, and you can make each field required, so nothing that's really essential is ever missing, right? So you don't have to like chase people around. Just that alone can save you tons of time. Like, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, if you guys probably know everything I'm saying. Here's another way of using the form. So anything that parents have to fill out, it can be done digitally, but also whatever teachers have to fill out, any type of documentation. Our forms work for anything from an attendance, to incident reports or scope and sequence, so, and again, we can build in the automation. So the way it works is, let's say a teacher fills out a form for a child, and it could be something like a really simple incident report. It's like a couple taps, select the type of incident, leave some notes. At that point, a notification can automatically be sent out to a parent. Like it just reduces all the other steps of you having to notify the parent of the incident. But you might say, hey, well, before that goes to the parent, we want the admin to actually approve it. So that's another step you could build in. Just, so the teacher fills out the form in like 20 seconds on whatever device she wants to use or he wants to use. Then a notification goes to the admin, and you can select which admin you want to go to. They read it and they approve, and then it goes off to the parent. In addition to that, every child has a page where all the records, it's like a digital filing cabinet for the child. So it's a private page shared with just the parents that you've connected to the child, and the appropriate staff. And any record that's submitted for that child is right there instantly. So it's really easy to look up anything. There's like a central filing system where everything comes into. It's like a digital filing cabinet of all your digital paperwork, so to speak. But also there's there's everything that's submitted about a child is always automatically placed on that page as well.
Okay.
And here's another tool that we have, which is for standard kind of scheduling. So aside from events, you've got things like tours and parent-teacher conferences, things like that. A lot of schools will be using like Sign Up Genius or Schedule Once. I mean, there's a whole list of calendar and scheduling tools. So this is one of the one of the features we found that schools really also needed to centralize. What do you guys do currently for managing this type of stuff?
Sign Up Genius.
Sign Up Genius. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So here is you just again, like, let's just say this is a school tour calendar. So this works for enrolled parents, but also for prospective parents, obviously. So you could set up, like, we do tours on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9 and 12, and they can come in here, select sessions that you've got available, sends confirmations and reminders and all that stuff automatically, and it's also used. That's one of the main use cases, and also parent-teacher conferences. So every teacher can have their own schedule. You don't have to do like, how do you manage parent-teacher conferences? Do you also use schedule ones for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign up Genius form.
Oh, sorry, Sign Up Genius, right? So yeah, so obviously it's a good tool. I mean, it works. It's a good tool for it. Just the question is, again, do you want another additional tool? So like, I think Schedule One's a pretty good tool, but it's just something that has its own learning curve. It's got its own price every month, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, and then obviously it's not integrated. So this way you've got the same features, getting the same thing, but it's all integrated with the existing database and users that you have already. And then this is just like a diagram of how all of our sort of features can work together in an automated workflow. So this is an example of an onboarding process we have for like an enrollment process that we've actually built into the Newgate School. Are you familiar with Tim Selden, the Montessori Foundation?
Well, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Are you familiar with Tim Selden?
Yes, I am, very much so.
Yeah, so this is one we built for the Newgate School actually, where they let's just say somebody comes from a Google search, so they find your site, they fill out a digital form, an inquiry form, you get the admin gets a notification, and then that prospective parent can start getting a sequence of emails automatically by the system that are pre-written and are sort of educating them on what's special about your school, maybe what makes your school different, and maybe even what should kind of inform the parents that maybe it's not the right school for them. Like, so you don't have to like spend hours with doing a tour with somebody that's not really the right fit, right? But ultimately leading them to schedule that open house or that tour through the system, and then at the right time the system can notify a staff member like, hey, this parent is coming for a tour and they need to be, approved for the application process. So the system will send out automated notifications, either once or a series of them. It will drive the parents to the next stages of your enrollment process. It'll notify staff when they have to take action and give them tasks to take action. And then at any point in time, you can actually see where all of your prospects are along the way. So you never lose track of anybody. And you've got them organized in a system, and you can, this is totally customizable and adjustable. So it can accommodate.
You can make your own application and what you want on it, and do the
whole
process.
It's totally custom.
And how we want to do it. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally custom. Yeah. And then this is our tuition management system. So we have tuition. So parents can pay tuition online with credit card or e-check, or they can print off and bring you a check if you accept check as well. And then it allows so there's account management features, like there's reports, and you can see every account. You can see all the payments and the status and what's outstanding or whatnot. It sends parents reminders and everything. It also gives parents a ledger where they can log in and see all of their invoices and their balance and whatever's outstanding. And it does auto payments as well. So like let's say they're paying with the first time they pay with their checking account, let's say, they can just auto bill that account every month or however you set it up. So that is actually the one add-on. So Hubbli, so there's kind of two packages. There's the essentials and then the complete. The complete includes the invoice, the tuition system. And so if you recall, the digital forms take payments as well, which is great for incidentals or field trips or pizza or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, when you're dealing with tuition management, you need more robust features and reporting tools and whatnot.
Right, and is there different security features to it? Like I may want certain people not to be able to see billing and things like that. But
oh yeah.
Totally. There's all kinds of security to that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now you're saying the standard package is the essentials, which is everything, and then complete includes tuition. Can you do it without the tuition portion and then add it on later?
Yes, you can. You can add it on anytime you want. So, and that's kind of what and a lot of schools that come on with Hubbli are in the middle of a contract with something like ProCare or OnCare or you name them,
Hmm.
Fax or whatever. And so, but they don't have all the other features that Hubbli offers. So, I mean, we this is our newest component to Hubbli actually, and it's just something that came organically from our customers saying, hey, we want to do tuition through here as well. Why not?
Okay.
So we built it, and I'd say about 20% of our customers currently are using it. Um,
Great.
and then beyond that, those are all the main components of Hubbly, and we're just really heavy on support. So you can call us. We have a great support website, and obviously you can call us and email us, and you can schedule sessions at a future time whenever you want. There's no limit to support, um, and there's just for your own, if you just do it yourself, or there's a knowledge base, and you can look up manuals and how-tos, and we give you step-by-step instructions how to do every little you know, every little thing.
Wow.
Um, and then just to talk about, once you decide to move forward, we have a very kind of concierge, done for you onboarding. So this is where we're always very service heavy, but at the beginning it's like we're almost like part of your team. We're almost like your own virtual assistant, so to speak. So the way it works is
Hmm.
we want you to just focus on learning Hubbly because it has a lot of features and you're going to be replacing a whole lot of tools. So there's a learning curve at the beginning. And we've got a great training program, but we want you to just focus on that. And we set everything up for you. So you literally dump everything on us, your database, your forms, all that. We set it all up for you. If you want to use Hubbly, like I said, you guys have a great website. You don't need to replace it, but we'll make Hubbly match your existing site. We'll match the branding, and we'll take any direction you
Hmm.
want. I mean, if you did want to, you could say just move everything over to Hubbly. I don't think that makes any sense in your case, but
Right.
I do think it makes sense to use Hubbly as an additional marketing platform. It'll get you more traffic, and so it doesn't make sense not to benefit from that. Um,
Right.
but but we kind of it's up to you the way you want to use that component of Hubbly. So the process for onboarding is we have an initial kickoff. So let's say you guys wanted to move forward, we'd send you an invoice, you'd pay it, and then right away we'll book your initial kickoff session where we just set up your site with you. Everything we do at this stage is really guided and sort of hand holding. And then we have an online video training course that you go through. You can do that at your leisure, but we do want you to do that first. We want you to get a good sort of, kind of well-rounded understanding of how Hubbly works. So it's within a learning management system. So you watch a 5 to 10 minute video and you answer some questions just to make sure there's, some retention. And then we also do 10 one-on-one uh, consecutive coaching sessions. Now this is a very specific training program where we guide you through like skill it's like skill development. So it's not the type of thing where you ask questions and we answer you. It's the type of thing where you just do what you're told. Kind of like we actually get you to share your screen and we tell you what to do. Click there, and we just run you through a whole bunch of exercises. So you're kind of getting the muscle memory as well. So and that's why it has to be daily, and it's just 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks. And we don't budge on that. It is a very specific program. We just know what works the best. And then obviously we're just migrating everything over that you want to migrate over. And so this is so just from we just want you just have to commit to like participating in that program, but it's like learning how to dance by standing on someone's feet basically. So we just want from your end just to participate in that onboarding process, complete the steps, just prepare the databases for us, which is usually just exporting them from whatever system you have. That's usually good enough. And then just making sure that we meet, you might have some certain things that need to be happen first. Like this here is a diagram of the standard onboarding process. It's the same thing I just kind of described, but this is visually like you guys, your steps are in the green and our steps are in the blue. So while you're kind of doing, you send us all the data and everything on your forms and whatnot. and that in your events, we'll create all your events for you too. We get it all queued up for you, so you can just focus on learning Hubbli. And then you go through the training, and then at that same time, we're preparing everything while you're going through the training. And I do want to mention as well, we don't, from day one, you've got full access to all the features. So we do have customers that are kind of tech heavy and they don't really need our training. They just log in and they figure things out. At the same time, most of our customers need the training, and they benefit from it. So it's up to you, obviously, how much you want to partake or how much you need. But it's there for you, and we just, we're always kind of fine tuning that training program, but we're kind of rigid about how we do the training once you're into that specific program. And then once you're done the training, and then it's, we just kind of review everything with you and get your sign off, and we can do a launch, to let everyone in your, in your community, all your schools know about this awesome new, platform that you guys got. But that's also not necessary. So also, this is just our standard process. But we've had schools that are like, they want to sign up, but then literally like the next day they're about to print off all these parent packets and mail them out. And we're just like, no, don't do that. Like, just send us your parent packets. We'll just get them ready and send them out to your parents for you. Like we'll just do it for you. And so we save them. Like they sign up for Hubbli, but then they were just going to kind of do it because it was like, they didn't think that they would be able to get it done. And we're just like, God, don't do that. It would kill us. If we were to see one of our customers do that, we would just like freak out. So we were just like, no. So we can always advance things if there's a certain urgent deadline or anything like that. Our standard process is when you have something that needs to get done, we're gonna try to show you how to do it. So you can book a session, right, and be like, how do I create this event, or I forgot, or I need more help, and you can do this anytime. We'll always do this with you. Our preferred approach is to log on with you and walk you through the steps so that you're doing it yourself, because it's obviously better the more self-sufficient you guys are. At the same time, we can do it for you. If you're just too busy or something's urgent or whatever, you can just send it to us and we'll handle it for you as well. That's always part of the service. And that's it. That's Hubbli. That's how we work.
Would we be able to, like, within each of the locations, like the groups that we set up, could we have a group of the staff members that work at that location? So if we okay. That way, if we communicate or need to mail stuff to staff, we could do it through Hubbli. Exactly.
So that's, along with the different rooms and programs that are the standard group scenario, you can create groups for anything you want. It can be a staff group. That's standard things. Like, there's usually an all-school group. There's usually a staff group. There's usually a board, and every single program will have a group. And then we have schools that just use groups for like random things for whatever, because they like the features and they just want to use it, and they can just use it. You can create a group and delete it in a week. It does, so it's it's like whatever you would do with like a Facebook group, you can do it in a Hubbli group. It just comes with all the other features.
Okay.
What's the cost?
Okay, sure. So, the standard cost of Hubbli is, for a site, Hubbli site, and for this setup process, it's $19.99. It's a one-time fee for this onboarding process. $1,999. So that gets you the site and all the features and all the training and all of the done-for-you setup. It's all $19.99. And then the Hubbli Essentials package is $199. That gives you everything except the tuition management system, which is an additional $99 a month. So the Essentials is $199. The complete package is $298. And we give you, everyone gets a 60-day 100% money-back guarantee, and you also can cancel anytime. So there's no required contract or any specific minimum term. You can go monthly, and then we also offer an annual option. If you want to pay yearly, what we do is we reduce the the year by $600. So it's
Okay.
it's a you know, it's a if you think of it monthly, we bring the price down by $50 per month, but you pay 12
Okay.
months in advance.
Yeah.
My next question on that is, this is per location for us?
So that depends. That depends. Yeah. So when we do multi-location deals, it's obviously we can negotiate prices differently, and
Okay.
Okay.
and then it kind of comes down to how it makes sense for you to use it. It sounds like it makes sense for you to have a separate site per location.
Uh-huh.
Correct.
You would have central access, so you can be the admin of all of those. So when you log in,
Right.
you don't have to log into each different site. You're logged in, and that'll
Awesome.
allow
Right.
you into all. So you kind of have that. You'll have like a site list, so you
Hierarchy.
can just hop into each one. And that would just be for you as the admin. That wouldn't be for the parents or anything. So.
Mhm.
But so basically anybody that needs to be members of multiple sites, that you can add them to however many sites you want. But for parents, they're usually just going to be at their one location, and usually for staff
One
too.
location.
Unless teachers go from location to location, then it'll work either way.
So,
Mhm.
right. So my question is, the onboarding price, would that be per location? I know this is going to be.
Right. The
Yeah.
monthly,
I know
of
that.
course, but I mean, because I
Right.
guess at each location, we wouldn't need the full services of onboarding.
Right. So
Because-
that's going to depend on how you want to manage it. So if it really is just, you guys from your corporate office manage all the different sites, and there isn't like nobody from those other schools need the training or anything like that, then we can figure out like a much larger discount basically for
Okay.
for per location. There still
Okay.
will be a location charge, but we can reduce it substantially. If however there are staff that need to be like I would say there's two components. There's two main components of that price: the training, and it's the setup. So if we can't do 15 times the setup and only charge you for one school, right?
Right.
So
Totally agree.
so we have had like schools that have multiple locations use one Hubbli site because it made sense for them, but it doesn't sound like it makes sense for you. And
Yeah, no.
so there would still be. I mean, we could give it a substantial discount, but there would be an onboarding charge per school.
Now, this cost also is, it's per month, but it's not based on users or how many parents or how many employees are in it. It's just a flat fee.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, because our schools do vary in size, With a
Yeah.
school that might have 250 parents and a school that may have 80 parents.
Yeah, and I understand the natural like the logic to charging per size. We've taken the approach of just charging per component,
Mhm.
just because on a system level, whether a school has 50 parents or 500, it doesn't actually make any difference on our side as far as performance or workload or anything really.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could say you get more value if there's more parents, or less value if there's less parents. But this is currently how our pricing works.
Perfect. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
you're very
is
welcome.
great. Now, are you going to be able to share the recording with us
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send you
so
a
that
link
we
so
can
you can.
share it with, like
Who
our
we need,
boss
yeah.
and
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, my pleasure. If I could ask, what's the next step in your, I guess, decision-making process?
Well, again, we have to share like our findings from this call,
Mm-hmm.
with the powers to be, and
We'll go
then
from there.
we'd be in touch after that.
Okay.
We would
And so
definitely
is
be in
that
touch.
so can I ask what your roles are in this process? Like,
Sure. Like I work out of the corporate office. I'm a school liaison, so
okay.
I interact with all 15 schools. currently supporting all the different softwares that they use at the schools, as well as managing a lot of those software packages. So
okay, this is going to make your life a heck of a lot easier.
Oh, that's what, believe it or not,
Wow.
that's what Danielle said, Jordan. She's like, it's going to make things a lot easier for you.
Yeah, I think
that's
you
basically my
probably.
role.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody understands probably the value of parents being informed and how much extra work it creates when they're not, or when they're missing information or whatever it is. I mean, it just creates a lot of work for everybody. But for those that manage, and I mean, to manage all those tools across 15 locations must be a pretty big workload. So yeah, I think this is going to be a really good move for you personally.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Listen, I hope I certainly hope to hear from you guys soon. And I'll what I'll do is I'll follow up with like is there like how much time do you think you need?
Well, at
For
least give us a week, so we could say, like, yes, we want it. Maybe we'll have more questions because after we present it, but we only see, some of the people that we'll have to present this to, we only see like once a week.
Okay, sure.
So, give us at least a week so we can at least come back with, all right, we're interested, and, we have a few more questions.
Yeah, and the quicker we get this reporting and are able to move forward with it, the faster it will happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Okay, great. So I will, I'll send that along today, and we will hear from you soon, hopefully.
Great. Thank you so much, Jono.
Take
care.
Day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.